She wanted to go home. But where?
Excuse me. Don't interrupt.
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions. She said, "You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury. And along the road, from Paris, across Normandy, over the sea, and all the way to Kingsbridge. Devout Christians have given money for the building of the Church of the Weeping Madonna. This Church of Kingsbridge. The Weeping Madonna has chosen you, all of you. You must wonder, why was Kingsbridge chosen to be the home of the Holy Virgin? She said, "You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury. I will tell you again, dear brothers and sisters. The Weeping Madonna has chosen you.
Please tell us more.
Of course. My words shall prepare you for the sight of the Holy Madonna. You must be thinking, how can he be so sure? In the beginning, I was not. I only had my faith. I knew not her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried her for many miles, and I will tell you again. She is a true miracle that will change your life as she changed mine. Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me. She wanted to go home, but where? It came to me in a dream. It was Kingsbridge. Now, brothers and sisters, I have heard that life has not been kind to Kingsbridge, but it is in places like these, and in dark times like these, that God's light shines brightest. And along the road, from Paris, across Normandy, over the sea, and all the way to Kingsbridge.
What country did you say you came from?
We have traveled all the way from a place of wonders too marvelous to behold. The faraway land of Africa.
Africa has many countries, I've heard.
Yes, it does. And I will tell you again.
What's it like in Africa?
The sun is always shining, and miracles happen every day. It's a land of great deserts, fig trees, and creatures that an Englishman can't even dream up.
Like these horses. Are they horses?
They are not. To you, they might resemble horses, but the name the Africans have for these creatures is impossible to pronounce, even for me. I could have continued to carry her from town to town until my flesh succumbed, but this was not her will.
You mentioned there were fig trees in Africa. What are they?
It's a fruit, of course. It looks like a strawberry and tastes like a pear.
The scripture mentions these figs, and they sound nothing like that. Why is that?
No two apples look or taste alike. The same goes for figs, and doubly so.
I'm getting the impression that this man has never even been to Africa. But why would he lie?
You must wonder, why was Kingsbridge chosen to be the home of the Holy Virgin?
Hey!
Shh!
You heard me correctly. It was a long journey. The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen.
They
was
look
her former
almost
guide.
like
And I and the custodians of
hollow.
the Holy Virgin were
Feels like a
chosen
wicker
to
basket
take her
covered
on
in
a
pelt.
journey.
Baptized?
Do you speak English?
No English, no campandare, no.
Oh, what's this? I think you might have stepped into horse dung.
What? Where?
No English, is it?
Just un poco, si.
Could you talk to this man, Martha?
Yes, it's strange. He was quite talkative just a moment ago. He told me he was from Damascus in Africa.
Isn't Damascus in Arabia?
There's one in Africa too, I'm sure.
Why are you pretending you can't speak English?
No inglese, melada.
A Saracen? I could have continued to carry her from town to town.
My dear
until
people.
my flesh succumbed.
Oh, I'm so excited to see a true miracle.
Did you hear that? The Madonna has chosen us.
She's come all the way from Africa.
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions.
Please, everyone.
Shh!
We want to listen to his story.
And I will tell you again. She is a true
Tell me the
miracle
truth.
that will change
Why are
your
you
life
here?
as
We are
she
guardians of the
changed
Holy Virgin
mine.
that sheds tears. We were appointed by the Archbishop of Canterbury, but it was the Holy Virgin herself who chose us while she travelled through Europe.
Oh, yes. How did that happen?
She speaks without words.
So you're telling me this is a real miracle?
A miracle, a blessing, a wonder.
Many bore witness to her miracle. Before it dawned up, she wanted to go home. But where? It came to me in a dream. It was Kingsbridge. You must be thinking, how can he be so sure? In the beginning, I was not. I only had
I
my
am
faith.
Philip.
I
Who are
knew
you,
not
young man?
her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried her for
Why are
many
you
a
hiding?
mile. I will tell you again, dear brothers and sisters, the Weeping Madonna
That's not
has
fit for a
chosen
shrine.
you, all of you.
Nothing sacred about this.
Now, brothers and sisters, I have heard that life has not been, but it is in places like these, and in dark times like these. Can you feel it? Brothers and sisters, you are about to witness a miracle. The Madonna knows how you have suffered. The Virgin Mother had to witness the rise and fall of her Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, and never stopped believing. Kingsbridge has endured many hardships. Prior James left you before his time when you needed him the most. Your old cathedral was burned to the ground.
How do you know this?
And your new one collapsed even before construction was finished. You have suffered the ruthless destruction of your market, homes, and lives.
Dada!
All of you have lost husbands, wives, and children, family and friends.
Dada!
All of you know how it is to be hungry and afraid.
Jack. Aliena.
Philip.
But this is...
A miracle, isn't it? Or something along those lines.
But how?
We thought it was time to give Tommy a home.
The boy? Your boy?
Well, Philip? Do you recognize him? Our little Tommy?
Tommy? But... It's been almost 3 years since I last saw you, Jack. Where on earth did you find him?
I'd almost given up looking for him. Then Tommy found him.
And you decided to come back?
Well, this is our home, after all.
Then what on earth is all this? This miracle?
With the Madonna, we were able to collect donations for your priory and for Kingsbridge.
Really?
We can start anew. We can rebuild the cathedral.
What's the catch?
I'll get to be master builder.
Why?
I've studied the cathedrals, churches, and houses they build in France and Spain. I saw how different their constructions were, with new shapes, colors, and ideas. Oh, you should have seen it. They combined rib vaulting and pointed arches. I want to do that. That's why.
Why here?
Because this is home.
The townspeople probably think that's enough to build a whole cathedral. But to me, it looks like about £100. You know, that won't even pay for a year's work.
Like all of this, it's a symbol. Enough for a fresh start.
And the Madonna will stay here. Kingsbridge will attract visitors and donations again.
You mean I should be thankful for these lies and tricks?
Jack! Aliena! You came back!
We wanted to see you, little sister.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. But look at you! And the little one!
Tommy.
How are the others?
Alfred left Kingsbridge. Catface shows up every now and then. And Ellen returned to the forest.
We need to visit her.
What's wrong, Mother?
I'm glad you're back.
I am too. Very glad.
She looks like she's about to cry.
She will weep for your suffering, Kingsbridge. She knows your pain.
What now?
The miracle!
Her eyes are wet.
Her eyes!
Look at her.
They're shining!
She cannot hold her tears any longer.
She is made of wood. It's impossible.
Why are you weeping?
She is mute ever since her husband died.
The Madonna has suffered as I have. She understands.
It seems through her faith in all of your lies, Mary has found a miracle. We can't keep trying to repair Kingsbridge by ourselves. Things are not improving. We're struggling to keep things as they are.
But we can't afford to hire help.
Without farming and fairs, we're back to Prior James's time.
All these past years, my advice was good enough for you. But it appears you've changed your mind now, again.
It is time we started doing something to wake up and make Kingsbridge what it used to be. We did before, and we can do it again.
I'm not willing to accept a risk like that. Don't you remember what happened last time? My, how easily we forget.
I remember well.
And still, you put your trust into a group of random strangers to make things better. Philip, why in God's name have you stood by and let this happen? They're tricking us into giving them money for false idols.
They are giving us money.
So that we'll place this idol in our priory? Do you approve of this?
People need hope, and these travelers are giving them hope. Yes, it is a deception, but with good intentions. Mary speaks again. Is that not a true miracle?
You fell for them. You really did. And now you joyfully take part in their deceptions. I'm warning you. I cannot support a prior who tolerates heresy.
Your threat won't sway me. No matter how unconventional, their return and their gift are a blessing.
You made your decision, Philip of Gwynedd. And now, I make mine. I resign. I'm leaving the Priory.
You got so big, Tommy. And you're just as shy as your father was.
Don't let him fool you. Usually, he's always up to something.
Tom would have been proud of you. Of both of you.
Is she still here?
Hmm?
Tom's wife.
Oh, no. Martha and I moved her to Kingsbridge. She's with Tom now. He always wanted that.
Ellen, we found Jack's family in Cherbourg.
The place he came from wasn't Cherbourg, it was Cherbourg.
But... really? What were they like?
They were good people.
His grandmother said Jack looked just like him, like his father.
He does. But they never came for him or asked about him.
They thought he was dead. His ship sunk. He'd always wanted to go to England.
Have you ever heard of the White Ship?
No.
The king's family drowned.
My father was there. He was the only one who survived.
Not for long.
You told me that he was accused of stealing a chalice.
Yes. But I know he was innocent. I heard the story and had to find out what he looked like. He told me his name. I fell in love. I helped him escape. But in the end, they caught up with us.
What happened then?
They hanged him. I was there. And you were there, Jack. But you weren't born yet. He was led to the gallows. Everyone was quiet. The people somehow knew he was not a thief. But I knew for sure. He told me. He was so afraid. He didn't want to die. I didn't want him to die. And I prayed. Then I heard his voice. Quiet.
Sang sweeter than ever, as if the falling melody might wing and net dissever. At dusk the hunter took his prey, the lark his freedom never.
No! No!
You said that 3 men were responsible for Father's death.
Who were they?
The Sheriff of Shiring, Percy Hamley, Prior James of Kingsbridge, and Archdeacon Waileran Bygod. They showed no mercy. Neither did I.
I curse you! All of you! He will return to haunt you! One day, you will be judged for what you did. Your houses shall be consumed by fire. Your life shall end in pain and agony. You shall grow old in sadness and regret.
The people they killed will return to haunt them. I promised them.
We welcome our new prior, Remigius. He helped to recover the bones of the Saint of Kingsbridge, Adolphus, from the hands of thieves. Adolphus already rests safely in this great cathedral of Shiring. Our master builder Alfred promised me that it will only be a matter of a few years until the cathedral will be finished. And the Earl of Shiring has promised to support us. But he has not done so for himself. No, the Earl is not a selfish man. His mother, Lady Hamley, is sick. More and more, I feel the whole of England is suffering from a sickness. The sickness of war, poverty, and most of all, heathen beliefs. I have spoken to God. I asked him, begged him to walk amongst us, to heal us. But God told me that only when this great cathedral is finished will he have a temple to reside in. No matter the cost, this shall be a towering castle to protect us from evil and false beliefs. With this cathedral, we will bring an end to the dark times.
Waileran Bygod.
Jack, what are you doing here?
My father died by your hands, Waileran. His name was Jacques Cherbourg.
How dare you talk to the bishop like that?
He died right here!
Who are you?
I know that man. He's that bastard from Kingsbridge.
That man is my husband.
You?
All of you, listen to what we have to say. From now on, Kingsbridge is protected.
By our knights, by our walls, and by the word of the king.
So whatever you do, we will defend our town. Our market and fulling mills.
And our cathedral, which we shall rebuild. All workers are invited to come and work for us.
Oh, preposterous.
If you so much as try to bring harm to us, Bishop, we will make sure that you pay for everything you did.
It had been 3 years. 3 years of drought. 3 years of hunger and poverty. England was brought to its knees. Only our walls had kept us safe from the bands of outlaws raiding towns and villages. Bishop Waleran and William Hamley forced the workers to finish their cathedral in Shiring. Many had died. The work on our own cathedral had almost come to a halt. 4 weeks the storm had raged on. It was then that our cathedral gave up its last secret. And everything changed.
Tom, I don't think you would have liked the sight of this. I don't think you would have liked the sight of this at all. I know. You'd not planned the cathedral to be that high. I reinforced the walls, like in Saint Denis. The storm shouldn't be that much of a problem. But if it's not the storm, then what is it? The vaulting is cracked. The roof looks all right. No. I don't want to break more stones loose. I'm not done here yet. No need. No need. Now's not the time to fix this. First, I need to find out what caused all... If I make it worse, then we'll at least know what the problem is. All right. One more time. If the vaulting were unstable, this part would have collapsed and the wall would retract. The cause of the problem is not up here. Tom. What would you have done now? When we erected the Eastern Wall 17 years ago, there was also a crack. Yes. No matter what we did, it always came back. But this is not the same wall. We rebuilt it. But the cause could have been the same in both cases. The crypt! Huh? Yes, Tom. You kept the whole foundation there as it was. But it never had to carry this much weight before. That's it! The problem must be down there.
They were enraged. Bishop Henry thinks that the Pope should hear about what you wrote.
I think so, too. I would be honored if he read my book.
Philip, I really am worried about you.
There is no need for you to worry, Jonathan. It is just a book.
The problem is that the people love your sermons and what you wrote, even though most of them can't read. Your book is being copied in priories all over England.
Is that not a good thing, if our message gives people hope?
In desperate times, hope can be a powerful force.
That is very true.
Well, I fear the bishops. They might come to believe you took that power from them.
Huh? Do you?
Jack!
Have you been atop the cathedral during the storm?
Don't worry, Philip. The storm isn't as bad up there.
You shouldn't be up there risking your life. You should be with your children. Sally and Tommy have been asking for their parents all morning.
The storm is tearing our east wall apart. If the storm works, I work. Jonathan, did you and the others come directly from Winchester?
Yes, we did.
What about Aliena?
She stayed a day longer for the Fleece Fair. She should be on her way back now.
In this storm?
We didn't expect it to get worse.
No one did.
I am sure she'll be all right.
I need to go. I think I know why the east wall is unstable.
Yes? Why is that?
I'm not sure, but I think the answer lies down in the crypt. I should hurry before it's too late. I don't like the look of that. I don't like it one bit. Rashid was right. People love to believe in miracles. But the reason most people come to Kingsbridge now is for Philip's sermons. He tells them what they need to hear. He gives them hope. That definitely wasn't here before. The cause of the instability must be down here. This is the spot. Let's find out what the real problem is. The old wall here, or what's behind it. Here we go. Dear God. These stones, they've been removed before. Whoever put them back just added some mortar on top of the stones to hide the fact that they were removed. The tile at the bottom was completely loose.
What does that mean?
I think it was an entrance.
An entrance? To where?
That's what we'll find out.
Careful now. You've got the whole east wall on top of you. Jack?
Jack?
I'm all right. I just hit my head. It's dark in here. There's a whole room here. A chamber. I'll get a torch.
Philip, I'll get it. You stay here.
Is that a coffin? Oh, there's sand everywhere. Uh-huh. It's a bed.
What?
There's a bed in here.
What? Jonathan, we need that torch.
Who's... Strange. That's not wood. It's metal. Gold, even. Who slept here? Maybe Philip knows what this is. Yes, Philip should know. No, I don't want to break it. It's made of leather. It's a whip. What is that doing here?
I have the torch.
All right, come in here. Should be safe. Did you know about this place?
No. No, I did not. I've seen this chalice before, when I was very young. It's the chalice of the Eucharist from Kingsbridge Cathedral. Cuthbert told me about it.
And melted down, I know. Mother told me. They also said it was my father who did it.
Did they?
So he's innocent then?
He must be.
And whoever hid the chalice is responsible for his death. They hanged him in Shiring for stealing this chalice. But it was here all along.
That scourge, the whip. It belonged to Prior James. I was afraid of it when I first visited Kingsbridge with Francis and Abbot Peter. Even the look of it scared me.
James. Maybe it was him. I think I saw him during the night of the fire in the cathedral. When the old cathedral burned down. There was a man in the fire. His shoulders were bloody, as if he had chastised himself.
It is you! By God and the devil!
He told me that he had sinned, that he had done something to me. Perhaps because I looked like my father.
So he confessed for framing your father while he hid the cup here?
But it couldn't have been James you saw. James died weeks before the fire.
Did he? You said they never found his body. Maybe he hid down here. Maybe that's why the bed's here.
Wait. Jack, you were in the burning cathedral. What were you doing there?
And then I told Philip what I'd done. He just looked at me. Didn't say anything.
Waileran, what do you want?
Do you think it is wise to resign yourself to gluttony at times like these, while your people starve on the streets of Shiring?
Don't play the saint. You promise them miracles, and you make them pay. But your miracles never work out, do they?
God works in ways that we cannot comprehend.
My mother cannot walk. You failed. Again. What do you want?
I came about a book.
The Bible, again?
No. Philip of Gwynedd wrote it. And the church is displeased. Bishop Henry was enraged. This is our chance, William.
Your chance, you mean? If you need forces, talk to Walter, or Ugly. I don't care. I built your fucking cathedral. I'm done.
It's not just about Philip. It's about Aliena and her family.
Don't mention that name.
But have you not heard? King Stephen and Maud's son just signed a peace treaty.
I don't care.
You should care.
I said I don't. Now leave, and don't come back unless I ask for you. Where's my wife?
They've not returned yet, Lord William.
Then get me a whore! Now!
I should keep my dagger hidden. I am sorry for intruding, but I must ask you for shelter. I was on my way from the Fleece Fair in Winchester to Kingsbridge and got caught in the storm.
Nasty, isn't it?
Yes. And it's getting worse and worse. Thank you for your hospitality.
Someone help me! Please! I need help! Help!
Hello? Oh dear, are you hurt?
My horse. It fell. I can't move.
Take my hand. We'll get you inside. We'll only be here until it's safe to leave. We won't bother you. I'm Aliena. What's your name?
Elizabeth.
Breathe, Elizabeth. You're safe now.
Mm-hmm.
She took her.
Should have let her die. We would all be better off without someone like her.
I hope the storm spares your homes and fields.
If only we had that much left.
We still have our lives.
And our dignity.
You still have yours.
I don't like this. Hold your horses. We'll see what happens. We don't have much, but always enough for a lost soul.
She doesn't deserve anything.
Take a bowl and go ahead.
I can't carry it in my bare hands. She's avoiding eye contact.
You should get out of this place as soon as you can.
Be assured, I will leave as soon as the storm ceases.
What's she doing now?
Shush! Let her eat.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think she's freezing.
Eat this. You must be hungry.
Thank you. That's nice of you.
Why are you giving her soup? Dirt. That's what she deserves for dinner.
What? Do you want her to starve?
Please, don't start a fight.
Ooh. Oh, you're so kind. Many people would have let me die. People don't listen to me. My entourage didn't even notice they lost me.
Who?
My husband and his entourage.
A fine husband you have. I divorced my last one for less than that.
Divorced? Oh, he's just been beside himself ever since his mother.
Maybe now you'll understand what loss feels like. And what you people are doing to us.
Stop bullying her. Can't you see she's upset? How do they know you? This isn't right.
Oh, I'm used to it. I guess that's how it is when your husband holds an office like that. He has to do a lot of things people don't like. And sometimes they recognize me, too.
Wait. Is your husband The Earl of Shiring.
I thought you knew.
William Hamley.
Oh, please don't abandon me too. I swear, I'm not... I can't...
I used to know him when I was a girl.
Really?
What's he like now?
I loathe him with all my heart. I had accepted the arrangement with goodwill, but he had other plans. How do you know him?
He wanted to marry me when I was your age. Apparently he likes young girls, no matter how old he gets.
You too were supposed to marry him. How come you didn't?
He was a beast. So I refused.
You refused him?
It caused a lot of misery.
You're so courageous. I wish I was like you. I can't even stand up to the servants.
Don't act like you didn't have a hand in the downfall of this land. For years he roamed across the country to raid, rape and kill.
I'm sorry.
He's no Earl. After all he's taken from us, we should take something from him too.
She has nothing to do with this. Don't you dare touch her. Can't you see she's another one of his victims?
Oh, give over. She's in on it too.
Can you even imagine how it must be to be a child married to Hamley? The abuse and the humiliation every single day. I'm so sorry.
I'm crying because you know too.
Enough to know your pain.
I just don't know what to do anymore.
Tom, where the hell am I supposed to tether this horse?
It's Walter. He's looking for me.
Come with me to Kingsbridge. People will take care of you there.
That should do it.
Walter.
You? I've not seen you in a long time. William would be very pleased if I brought him your head.
No! Don't harm her. If it wasn't for her, I'd be dead. She saved me from the storm.
Did she now? Come on, we have to get back to the castle. We've lost too much time already.
Elizabeth stays with me.
No, she doesn't.
Thank you for saving me and protecting me from these people.
Come on now, we need to get going. William is waiting.
Dear Francis, the letters I have written to you over the years surely could be bound into a book. But only you know what my words in those letters amount to. It is different with the book I have written. It has found its way into priories throughout England and beyond. Because of my book, I may have to talk to Bishop Henry. But that is not the only thing that keeps me awake tonight. Behind a wall in our crypt, Jack discovered a hidden room. We do not know who built it. But it is likely that Prior James hid there, even after he was said to have drowned. That means he was alive when we met in Kingsbridge on New Year's Day, the day of his burial. And Jack told me he saw a man in the church the night it burned down. Was that him? And if so, did he burn in the fire that night? The dust storm and the drought are taking their toll on all of us. Thanks to our town wall, we are safe from the Earl and the outlaws. We've heard of places nearby being raided. We believe the attackers were William Hamley's men. We have enough food to last us another few weeks. But life has come to a halt. Martha believes there will be rain soon. But the storm is only a harbinger of rain. I hope that she is right. Jonathan worries about my book. The Divine Soul. In Winchester, he heard that Bishop Henry was less than pleased by what I had written. I am not naive enough to pretend I do not know why. I wrote that hope is godly, and since God made each of us, hope and salvation are only to be found within ourselves. Henry sells hope, and I am giving it away for free. If the church should ask me to clarify my position, of course I shall do so. But I feel I must give our people what they need in these desperate times. And how could I write anything else if this is what I truly believe? It must be well after midnight. With you, I can be honest about what truly troubles me. Jack told me that he was responsible for the fire in Kingsbridge. I know that it was a long time ago. He told me it was an accident.
My God. Save yourselves! The Saint! We must save the Saint! Fire! The whole roof is in flames!
My God!
Don't go in there! Adolphus! The Saint! We must save him! No! No! Don't go!
And as horrible as it may sound, I cannot find it in my heart just now to forgive Jack. Maybe because this confession comes too late, and from a man who I have learned to trust. This is the truth. I should get some air, Francis. The storm has settled down. if he was never properly buried. And that is Jack's fault. Jack started the fire. He should have told me. But I would have been more than content with the old one, had it not been burned to the ground. No, I'll take a... Hello? I thought I saw someone. That came from the kitchen.
Oh, it's you.
You startled me.
I thought I heard something. Was that you?
No, but I heard it too. Maybe Aliena came back.
No. No, she's asleep. She returned a few hours ago. Damn it.
Jack.
Sorry. There's someone in the kitchen.
Yes, I think you're right.
Stay behind me. I'll go ahead. There's someone in here.
Outlaws. They are probably just after food. I will talk to them.
All right.
Please, listen. Oh. We don't mean you harm.
Philip, be careful! Damn it! Philip, throw me a stone!
Jack, no! It's him. Brother Marcus.
Brother Marcus?
He took Cuthbert's keys to steal food here from the kitchen. Because of me, Remigius found out. And he left. We never saw him again.
Looks like he came back. You didn't mean for this to happen.
No, but...
What about him? Don't be afraid.
Ah! Why did you do that, you animal? I will get the others.
No!
What?
He's just a child.
Just a child. Jack forgave the child, just like that. And I forgave him. For that was what he had been when he arrived in Kingsbridge. Just a child. Who was I to judge this man for not confessing earlier what he had done? I had never told his wife, Aliena, that I was responsible for her fate, and for her father's. Even that night, when we all met, I did not dare to tell her.
The walls of Kingsbridge weren't enough anymore. The outlaws had found a way in. We weren't safe in our homes.
So, Kingsbridge was attacked, and you two twigs were our only defense.
Why didn't Catman chase them away?
Sir Catface, Sally.
Now, do not exaggerate. This is not a siege.
We only saw 2 of them, and one of them was a child.
But they almost killed you.
These poor souls were starving. Many are forced to turn to thievery because of the drought.
A true Earl's duty should be to protect his people.
You bet your little nose, but it's rare they do. Especially with that charming bastard, Lord Hamley.
It is all too easy to blame a desperate child. Forgiveness is much harder.
It is.
But forgive we must.
Can you? Forgive, I mean.
I already have.
Hamley is the reason for this. He's to blame. It's that simple.
Well, there's some good news at least. With the Treaty of Wellingford finally signed, William won't remain Earl forever.
What treaty? Winchester is in turmoil about this right now. Stephen and Maud have signed the treaty. Maud's son, Duke Henry, is to be crowned the next king.
And, by agreement, all lands are to be returned to their previous owners.
But Stephen will continue to rule as long as he lives.
Meaning that the earldom will go to the next male heir of Lady Aliena's family. That would be you, Tommy.
What? It will not.
Why the bloody hell not?
Bloody hell.
Language?
No one will enforce this until Stephen is dead.
What is to be done then?
Well, if they're hungry, can't we just give them something to eat?
I'll share.
We should, and we will. But there are too many to feed them all.
We must do something.
Well, I cannot sit quietly and wait until Stephen dies of old age. The Treaty of Wallingford is in place. I won't wait for another 17 years. Not when I'm so close to fulfilling the promise I made to my father.
True. But last night, it wasn't that Hamley boy who attacked us. It was a bunch of thieving bastards.
Well, what do we do about it?
If we're smart, we could use them.
Use them?
It's been done before. If we set up the outlaws to assault William Hamley, it'd solve both our problems, wouldn't it? And while they're distracted bashing their heads in, we attack.
I won't have any of that.
What about his mother? I've heard that Hamley still listens to her, that she still has a say in Earl's Castle.
Yes, let's tell his mother.
If we spoke to Regan Hamley, we might not need a physical confrontation at all.
Speak to that wench? I'd rather let my blade do the talking. I say it's time we took back your father's castle by force. Even if I'd have to lead an army of outlaws.
I don't like either choice, to be honest.
Neither do I. So, what do you think, Aliena?
I'll negotiate with Regan Hamley. I will go to Earl's Castle. Alone.
A daring idea. Spoken like a true leader.
Regan Hamley seems to be in a tight corner herself. She might well be willing to cooperate.
I do hope you're right.
I'll ride with you.
You won't, Cub. Not with that leg of yours.
Your mother's right, boy. And too many gingers showing up at their cave might make them suspicious.
And so, after 17 years, I finally returned to the place I'd once called home. Because I had failed to gain support from the people of Shiring, my only hope now was a deal with William Hamley's mother, Regan. A woman whose possible support was only guaranteed by rumor.
Get in line and stay in line. You'll all get your chance to pay your dues to Lord Hamley, you hear? So no pushing.
Why does Lord Hamley need all that food? He's got more than enough.
Shut it, woman. Smear your face with dung and lower your head. It's the only way you get out of here alive. It's no coincidence that Hamley always asks for women to bring the tributes.
Oh, shut up. Patience, patience. Everyone will get a chance to pay their dues to Lord Hamley.
I'm just a shepherd's daughter. I have no business here.
Shut up!
Bloody beggars.
I want to go home.
Oi, you there! Yes, I meant you. That's a pretty face you got there. You're coming with me.
What? Leave her. Take me instead.
Well, whatever. You'll walk to the other side of the yard and talk to Walter. You'll get you settled. And don't you dare stray from the path.
They say Lord Hamley might lose Shiring soon. What if the next Earl has us all hanged?
Calm down. None of these royals really care about this shithole.
I know those two. They used to fight for father.
What about Bartholomew's children? There's a lot of bad blood there.
Well, the boy Richard is dead, has been for years.
And the lady Aliena?
Don't make me laugh.
Oh, I think you underestimate her. Some years back I heard she almost cut up a priest in Winchester, put a knife to his throat and robbed him dry. Oh, she's a fury.
And you're a sissy.
May I interrupt?
What is it?
How can you fight for someone like William Hamley? My father was nothing like that tyrant.
Oh, dear Lord, it's you.
You always sat in your neat little keep playing hostess to his well-off guests. Well, the poor snuffed it just as they do now.
Well, at least William treats us as his equals, and not like pawns on a board of 9 men's Morris.
Was my father really that bad?
Your mother could have answered that question.
He once told me that she was very unhappy when she died.
And you never wondered why?
My father was a good Earl.
Keep on telling yourself that. But that's not our story.
Many knights fighting for him were former outlaws who had nowhere to go anymore. Your father may have given us food and shelter, but it was no better than what you'd give to livestock.
I'm here to talk to Lady Regan Hamley.
She's in the keep.
But only Lord William and Walter are allowed to go there.
And they'll kill you if they find you there.
So you won't help me?
We've already helped you more than enough by not ratting you out.
Don't tell anyone that you saw me.
We won't, if you promise to leave now.
Are you done yet?
Almost. Let me just see if I took enough. What are you doing here? You need to leave. Don't come any closer. William has me watched.
What's taking so long?
I forgot the pork. I'll be out shortly. Wait a moment, then follow me. We don't have much time. Hugh will look for me any moment now. So why did you come?
King Stephen has declared a truce with Empress Maud. William's tyranny is over. This land might finally see peace again. There's also another reason why I came. To talk to Regan Hamley and to get you far away from here until things are settled.
What will become of me, then?
My brother will become the next Earl, but I'll run things alongside him. At the same time, I don't want to give up my wool trade, so you could help me there.
I want to help you. I really do. But I don't know how. I feel so useless.
Can you take me to Lady Hamley?
I wouldn't know how. Hugh Axe is watching me. He would never let you through. Only Walter and I are allowed inside the keep. Why don't you ask him? Walter.
Walter? William's dog?
Don't call him that. He's not as bad as people say he is. William won't allow me to talk to him anymore. Now Lady Regan is all I have left.
Run to Kingsbridge. They'll help you.
I can't. William's men would see me if I tried to leave. I tried already. Please, let me stay and help you.
I will talk to Walter then.
Hurry up in there! Or do you want me to come in and pull you out?
I need to go.
I know where Walter is. I should keep my distance till I found who I'm... I must talk to him personally. How many of them were once loyal? Elizabeth claims you aren't such a bad person after all.
Am I not? Have you forgotten that I killed your family's steward?
You got problems over there, Walter?
I would be a better ruler than my father. I know my father wasn't always a good and just person. He killed, just as William does. But I would fight to be better. I would listen to the needs of this land's people.
What are you saying?
Have a heart.
So, you think I'm a nice bloke? And you think this is enough to convince me that you'd be a better ruler than anyone who came before you? Don't make me laugh. Hugh!
What?
If you let me go, I promise I will end William Hamley's reign.
I don't believe you. But it's not up to me to judge these things. I'll take you to Lady Hamley. She'll decide. My lady?
Elizabeth, could you get me some water, dear?
Yes, my lady. But first, I need you to wake up, my lady. There is someone who wants to see you. It's the Lady Aliena.
The Lady Aliena? When did that bitch become nobility again?
You would do well to call me by my proper title.
Why should I?
I'm certain you've heard about the treaty the king made with Duke Henry at Wallingford Castle.
I have. I have also heard that it's a muddled mess.
It is a complicated deal indeed, but one that will end the war. And one that makes my family the rightful owners of this earldom once more.
Only by word. There's no one who would come to enforce this, not even the king.
You need to understand that there is great anger among the peasants of Shiring. Anger against your son, against you, even against that poor woman, Elizabeth. If your son doesn't step down, the people will take their land back by force.
That's a lie. My William is a better earl than your father ever was. To think that I once wanted to marry my good William into a family like yours. Not a day goes by when I am not glad that God saved us from that horrible fate.
Please, my lady, you need to hear her out.
Oh, my dear Elizabeth, don't you see what she is trying to do to us?
You cannot punish me for denying your son.
My lady, the Lady Aliena came here to make things better.
She has only ever made things worse. She mocked my son for wanting to marry her.
She had every right to deny him.
What? How can you say that? He is your husband. He's good to you.
If it wasn't for Walter, I'm sure William would have killed me already.
What's going on here? What's that bitch doing here?
She's trying to bargain.
She's trying to take everything.
Is she? Is she now?
Leave it.
Shut up, old man. What's going on here? What's that bitch doing here?
She's trying to bargain.
She's trying to take everything.
Is she? Is she now?
Leave it.
Shut up, old man. Cut that whore up, Walter!
No. You brought this on yourself.
You bloody traitor! Someone get up here! Men! You will pay. You will all pay for this.
Is he dead?
He is. William Hamley is dead.
What now?
Now we tell his men.
Drop your weapons immediately!
Raise the banner!
Everyone, listen! Lord Hamley is dead! The castle now belongs to the former Earl's family again.
What? You're shitting us!
It was the King's wish.
Who killed him?
He died by my hand. My name is Lady Aliena of Shiring. I'm the daughter of Bartholomew, the former Earl of these lands. I've been tasked to end the tyranny of William Hamley and restore order to Shiring.
Every attack on us is sanctioned by the King of the English.
So what will happen to us then?
You will get your chance for redemption by helping the people of Shiring recover from your own cruelty. And by rebuilding their homes and tending to their fields.
Are you sure this is what you want, my lady? Forcing tormentors and tormented to work together might not end very well.
They can end like William, or they can learn to redeem themselves.
Well, you know what you're doing.
The tyranny of William Hamley is over. In the name of the new Earldom of Shiring, the land will be finally healed. now, send a messenger to Kingsbridge to let Prior Philip know that Shiring is finally free. What is it? Why are they laughing?
You can send a messenger if you want, but there won't be much of a Prior left when he arrives.
Sir Catface, get me a horse.
The Pope believes we should either burn him or make him Bishop of Kingsbridge.
I have already taken matters into my own hands. My men arrested him while Kingsbridge was left unguarded.
While his friends took Earl's Castle?
Yes.
At least in his death, William Hamley was of use to you.
Look at all these people. Seems like they're enjoying themselves.
They never change. You drooling dogs should be ashamed!
Shut up, you old hag!
Ellen?
I'm not feeling well.
I'll stay with you. Go ahead, we'll come after you. Quick, you can't be too late.
Is your mother ill?
It's not that. This is where they hanged my father.
The trial begins. The judges. Brother of Stephen, King of the English. The Right Reverend Bishop Henry of Winchester. Her Highness, the Countess Lady Aliena of Shiring. Presiding over the trial, the Right Reverend Bishop of Shiring and Kingsbridge, Waileron Bygod.
Please. The Church is not without fault. We have gathered here today before the eyes of God to accuse one of our own. He wrote in his book that the Church and the papacy are not necessary as intercessors between God and man. That God is in man, that all men are equal, and that each sinner is as close to our Lord as the Pope himself. Now, we ask God for his judgment. For his is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Not ours, and not yours. You stand accused of heresy. Philip of Gwynedd, how do you plead? Answer!
Prior, respond to Bishop Waileron.
I am not guilty.
Your teachings speak another language. Guilty, I say.
I am deeply saddened. It may come as a surprise to you, but we had hoped to make you Bishop of Kingsbridge. Why has it come to this, Philip?
In part, I am to blame. I supported Philip in his early years. I demand that Philip be removed from his position of prior immediately.
No.
and that he remain in captivity until such time that Shiring and all of England have healed from the poisonous words he has dispersed.
No!
What? Yes? Do you not agree with the Church as well, my lady?
In what way exactly are Philip's teachings heretical?
Philip of Gwynedd has said that each of us is in part of a godly nature, for God has made us in his image. Therefore, he claims that none of us, not he, not the bishops, not even the Pope, is closer to God than any other man or woman.
Heresy! Christ made his apostle Peter his first pope. He and us, his church, hold the keys of the kingdom of heaven.
Yes! The Bible also tells us, let a man be known by his actions. Philip made Kingsbridge into a prosperous place for its people and for the church you claim he disrespects.
That is true, Lady Aliena.
Yes. Let a man be known by his actions. Call in Remigius.
The Prior of Shiring, Father Remigius.
My bishop.
Tell the court, Remigius, what you have told me.
For many years, I served as sub-prior of Kingsbridge. First for Prior James, then for the accused.
What was your first impression of him?
I was offended by his bluntness and accusations during the chapter discussions.
What else?
Prior Philip did not hesitate to give refuge to the people fleeing Earl's Castle in the winter that our king died.
Is that not a good deed? A true Christian act?
You do not know him as well as you think you do, Lady Aliena. Today, that will change.
The future master builder of our cathedral and his woman were among those taking refuge. They were living in sin. They were unmarried and fornicating. Philip allowed them to stay.
Why would he do that?
I do not know, my bishop.
Maybe because he himself was involved in similar affairs. We will see.
Then, on the day of our first fleece fair, we were attacked.
I heard. It was terrible.
I tried to soothe the woman's pain by reading the scripture to her. The builder's woman I have spoken of tried to put a spell on her with poisonous herbs.
And Philip intervened?
Yes. He pushed me aside and gave the woman poison.
It is worse than I thought.
It was no poison.
And then there was the day the Virgin Mary's statue arrived in Kingsbridge. I did not believe it was a miracle.
Clearly, it is a miracle. I hear of many who were healed in Kingsbridge.
Yes! Amen! Oh, Mary, bless us all!
Well, I soon realized it was a true miracle, but Philip did not. He was only after the money people donated at the Virgin's shrine. That is why I left.
I believe there is one more thing you have not told us about. Something very important.
Yes. Philip has fathered a child!
Unbelievable! I knew it!
A son. And he raised him in the priory.
He is guilty!
Jonathan of Kingsbridge, step forward.
This is preposterous.
Is it?
Is this true? Are you Philip's son? Answer the question, Jonathan of Kingsbridge.
Philip has always been like a father to me. But he is not my father.
How do you know that?
He told me.
And how do you know he spoke the truth?
Speak! Answer the bishop.
Philip would never lie. He told me that I was found in the woods.
In the woods? Is this true, Philip? Or are you lying? Well, you told the story so many times.
He was abandoned in the woods. My brother found him.
Your brother? The brother whose master you betrayed?
What are you talking about?
Philip tried to involve me in a conspiracy against his brother's master, Earl Robert of Gloucester. And his ally, Earl Bartholomew, your father, Lady Aliena. Philip took in all those refugees years ago because he was to blame for their fate. As he was for yours when you lost your father and your earldom. That, Lady Aliena, is the man you are trying to protect. Well?
I cannot forgive Philip. Not yet. I know that he is a troubled man. We've all had to make hard decisions. Decisions that seemed right at the time. When indeed, they were terrible mistakes. I pray that one day I will be strong enough to forgive him. But today is not that day. Let us now return to the problem at hand. There is a man who witnessed how Jonathan was found in the forest. A man who can shed light on who Jonathan's father really is.
And who is that?
My husband.
Step forward. What is your name?
He is the master builder of Kingsbridge.
Have you lost your courage?
No, I have not. You know well why it would be hard for me to face you. They call me Jack, after my father. My name is Jack Jackson.
Yes, we have met before.
How old were you when you allegedly saw Jonathan as a child in the woods?
12. But I know what I saw. Philip told the truth.
You were a child. And what were you doing there, in the woods?
I was living in the forest, with my mother.
They were outlaws.
Prior Remigius is the most trustworthy witness we've seen today, and his statement was quite damning to Philip. The distant memories of an outlawed child cannot convince me otherwise.
He fathered a child!
Let him go!
He would never do that!
And yet, Lady Aliena is right. We do not know enough to judge him as harshly as you proposed, Bishop Waleran.
You are right, Bishop Henry. As I said, it is not up to us to judge this man. Philip of Gwynedd has pleaded innocent, but how innocent is he? We ask God for his judgment. As Bishop of Kingsbridge and Shiring, I demand an ordeal by fire.
This is madness!
Philip of Gwynedd will be tried and judged at the stake. If he is innocent, God will save him from the flames. If he is not, then he will burn as the heretic and sinner God has declared him to be.
No! Waileran, by God! Not this time.
It's her.
I saw the child and Francis. I was there. Philip is not the child's father. He is a fool, but he is a good man.
Then who is the father?
Tom Builder.
They are all in this together. This woman is a witch and an outlaw, living in sin with a thief. He was hanged in Shiring 30 years ago.
He was not a thief. He was a good man. You've murdered him, Waileran, by God.
What is this nonsense?
He was a thief. He stole a golden chalice and melted it down and sold it.
What chalice?
The chalice of the Eucharist. He stole it from the Cathedral of Kingsbridge.
Sacrilege.
Yes, Prior James of Kingsbridge caught him red-handed.
Prior James confessed to me the night the cathedral burned down. I was there, I saw him.
Prior James died weeks before that.
No, he did not.
What proof do you have? Is that the chalice? You said it was melted down and sold.
Fall not for their lies. That could be any chalice. This does not prove a thing.
Where did you find this chalice?
In a secret chamber. We believe Prior James hid it because he felt guilty for falsely accusing Jack's father.
Bishop Henry, he speaks the truth.
Order! I will give you until sunset to produce a witness who can prove your accusations against Bishop Waileran. Not just this chalice. If you fail to do this, I will make sure you are tried for defamation. Philip of Gwynedd, you will stay under arrest. The trial recommences at sunset.
We need a witness.
What are you doing there?
I've seen you draw up plans for a cathedral. Maybe we can do something similar to find our witness. Let's see. Your father.
He looks just like you.
My grandmother said he did.
And Bishop Waileran. What are the connections? Maybe, by exploring them, we can find a witness.
Good idea.
Jack's father. If he was still with us, he could be our witness.
Maybe he still can. Mother says Waileran was behind my father's death.
And she said he wasn't alone. There were 3 men responsible for your father's death. Bishop Waileran, Percy Hamley, back then he was the Sheriff of Shiring, and Prior James of Kingsbridge.
If they were all there, then they were all witnesses.
And only Waileran's still alive.
Hardly a coincidence. Why would these three men work together to falsely accuse your father?
He was on the White Ship. No one survived that night. No one lived to tell the story.
Yes. He was the sole survivor.
And then they killed him. But why? And what about the ship?
My father wanted to go to England. He was the only one who made it when the White Ship sank.
Bishop Waleran is at the center of all this. Why would Waleran, Percy, and James be concerned about the White Ship?
The son and heir of King Henry was on board. So were other possible heirs and other members of the royal household. I heard that Stephen was supposed to be on the ship as well, but became ill. He was the only male heir. The only threats were the king's daughter Maud and her half-brother Earl Robert, and they've been at war ever since.
And your father, Earl Bartholomew. He was a threat. He tried to stop Stephen and paid for that with his life. Maybe my father saw something on the White Ship. Proof that Stephen was involved.
What about the king?
Waleran, Percy, and James might have been working for those who sunk the White Ship. Stephen always claimed that it had been God's will that he was not on that ship. That he remained as the only male heir.
That wasn't God. I bet Stephen had a hand in the sinking of the ship.
Now imagine what would have happened if he had learned that someone survived. Someone who might have seen what really happened that night.
If the White Ship is involved, then it's likely that Waleran was told by King Stephen to murder your father.
But he was not king back then. Why would Waleran listen to him?
He was promised to become bishop.
Of course.
Remember, Bishop Henry is Stephen's brother, and back then he was already one of the most influential clerics in all of England.
But if Bishop Henry is in on all this, what chance do we have to turn this trial around?
It is a public trial. All we want is for Philip to go free. We find a witness to expose Waleran. Henry would have to play along to appear innocent.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
It's our best shot.
William Hamley's father?
I wonder if my father ever learned why he was killed.
It's possible that King Stephen asked Waleran to... Now, what about...
So, what about Prior James and Waleran?
Waleran was not yet bishop when the hanging took place. He was archdeacon. Philip told me.
But James still had to do what Waleran told him to?
I think that's very likely. How are Prior James and Percy Hamley connected?
Not at all, I would guess.
Except through Bishop Waleran.
Yes. He needed James to arrest my father and Percy Hamley to hang him.
Now both of them are dead. That can't be a coincidence.
The three people who murdered my father might have worked for someone else. Someone who had an interest in drowning the king's heirs. Hardly a coincidence that the king's heirs all died on that ship. Maybe my father knew what happened.
Percy Hamley was the sheriff of Shiring. Well, he could have ordered your father to be hanged.
But he was arrested and held in Kingsbridge first. Prior James claimed that my father had committed theft.
Waleran, Percy, and...
If Stephen was responsible for the sinking of the White Ship, then he may have wanted the only witness of what really happened to disappear.
But he wouldn't have done it himself, of course.
No. Do you think the king told James to arrest my father?
No. I find it much more likely that James was instructed to frame your father by Waleran, his superior. As Archdeacon, Waleran was much more involved in politics.
If Stephen is involved, then his brother Bishop Henry would be as well.
Percy Hamley was poisoned.
One less witness that knew about Waleran.
And Waleran probably wanted William to become Earl. He was easier to control than his father.
What about Regan Hamley? She survived.
She was taken to her townhouse in Winchester. And in her condition, she might not be able to help at all.
Waleran was James's superior.
I wonder if my father ever...
Waleran, Percy and James...
Percy and James...
Do you think Stephen would have approached Percy directly?
Because of the White Ship? To help him cover up his tracks?
I don't think so. I think it's more likely that Waleran, just like he did when he wanted Percy to arrest my...
If the king is behind all this, what chance do we have to stop Waleran and save Philip?
We must do our best.
James was the prior of Kingsbridge.
That's where they say your father stole the chalice, melted it and sold it.
But we know that's not true.
As we found it, Philip recognized the chalice.
But Bishop Henry wants a witness. The chalice isn't enough.
But it's an important lead for us. I think we're getting closer. Philip said that Prior James was an honest man. So perhaps Waleran forced him to falsely accuse your father.
Maybe.
That might explain why James was guilt-ridden. The monks still tell the stories about how James thought the devil was after him.
Maybe Stephen never came up with the plan to hang your father.
You mean Waleran did it because he heard rumors and wanted to get closer to Stephen and Bishop Henry? Maybe.
The chalice was used to kill the last survivor of the White Ship.
Yes. Percy did not hide the chalice. Waleran and James probably thought no one would think twice if they claimed he'd stolen such...
They made sure the people would see him as a sinner and demand for him to be...
So Waleran and the others claimed your father had stolen a chalice from Kingsbridge Cathedral, and that he sold it?
Yes.
We know that's not true, but we need a witness.
It's the only way to help Philip.
James claimed that your father had stolen the chalice and sold it. But instead, James himself hid it in Kingsbridge, in the crypt.
We found his scourge in a bed down there.
That secret chamber is important. Everyone thought Prior James was dead, that he broke into the ice. And now we know he was hidden away.
Why did his monks believe he was dead?
Sub-Prior Remigius told everyone he had found James' rosary by the river. So everyone thought the body had been washed away. They buried an empty casket.
But how is Remigius involved?
Philip told me that Remigius was there when Waleran made Philip prior. Waleran and Remigius knew each other.
That explains why Waleran later made Remigius prior of Shiring.
And Remigius recognized my mother when we arrived in Kingsbridge. He must have been there at the time my father was arrested. I think Remigius knows all about this.
Is it possible that Waleran told Remigius to make Prior James disappear when James began to talk about what they'd done?
When James started talking to the devil.
But for some reason, Remigius hid him away. But Waleran never knew. Yes, that explains why he really didn't believe you. When you said you had seen James in the fire.
Where James died, after all. And Remigius thought no one knew.
We have to find Remigius. He's our witness.
Let's hurry. It's getting dark already. The trial will continue soon.
People know you two. You shouldn't walk around shiring like that.
He's right.
I'll go look for him.
All right. Take care of yourself. And Jonathan.
Yes?
We will talk later about what was said today. About Tom.
All right. Remigius, now where are you? Brothers?
What is it?
Have you seen the Prior of Shiring, Remigius?
We have not. And now step back, brother. We must be done by nightfall.
Everyone left for the trial, it seems. There is nobody there.
Do you want to go in, Father?
No, not yet. Thank you.
Are you not with Prior Philip?
Yes, I am.
I pray they'll set him free.
He's a good man.
He is a heretic!
You're fools! Look at yourselves! Who are you to judge a man who has never hurt anyone?
Forgive them, Father.
We don't judge him, but God will!
Remigius? I don't think he's here. Wait, was that him? I think I saw him. Have you seen a priest walk through here? Father Remigius?
No, sorry, I haven't.
All right.
Hey.
Yes?
You're Jonathan, right?
Yes, I am. And who are you?
Never mind, but there's something you should know. Tom Builder. He left you behind because your mother died. He had no way to feed you. He thought he had no other choice.
How do you know all this?
He went looking for you an hour later, but you were gone. And when he finally found you in Kingsbridge, he was there for you ever since. But he thought he'd lost the right to be your father.
Just who are you?
Just remember what I said. I pray they won't burn Philip. He's a good man.
Can we go home, Daddy?
Yes. Let's go home.
Hello? The door's open. Is anyone there?
You had one task.
By God! No!
Our bishop is very displeased.
No! What are you doing?
I'm doing what is asked of me.
Stop it!
No! Stay away! This does not concern you! No!
Who told you to do this?
No one!
Why did he do this to you?
I will tell you. I will tell everyone.
Do you have a witness?
Father Remigius, Prior of Shiring.
Where is Timothy? What they told you is true. Bishop Waleran wanted the jongleur Jacques Cherbourg dead. He ordered our Prior James to frame him. And so he did. This is a lie!
Is it?
James lost his mind because of what he did for you. He was about to tell everyone the truth. And then you ordered me to kill him.
Nonsense!
Let him speak.
I couldn't do it. I hit him, but he died in the fire. Jack saw him. It was him. I found the bones after the fire, and I buried them.
You should put an end to this, Henry. You really should.
Why would I?
You should stop this, for your own sake. You knew about all this.
Why would I care if that jongleur lived or died?
Your brother cared. The jongleur survived the sinking of the White Ship. He saw how your brother's men killed the king's family so that he could take the throne.
This is preposterous.
Bishop Henry and King Stephen ordered us to kill the man. You want the truth? That's the truth. Right there.
It is not. Waleran is a liar.
Regan Hamley.
Who is she?
I have waited long enough for this day. It is time I raise my voice. The woman, Ellen, she spoke the truth. 3 men were responsible for the death of the jongleur. James, the Prior of Kingsbridge. The Sheriff, my husband, Percy Hamley. But it was Waleran who was behind it. And only Waleran.
No!
He had heard rumors about the White Ship, about our king. He had hoped to win the king's favor by hanging an innocent man.
But it was not just me. They all knew.
Take him away.
This is for taking my husband's life.
It was Waleran!
Oh, we did it. It's over.
Yes, it's over.
Thank you, Lady Hamley.
This monk must learn his lesson.
The Pope would agree. This trial is not over. Philip pleaded not guilty, but he challenged the teachings and the authority of the Church. The ordeal of fire will take place. To show that the Church is not above God. To show that my brother, the King of the English, is not above God. Not we, but God shall judge this man.
This is madness!
No! He can't do this!
Philip! No! You cannot do this!
This is now a matter of the Church, Lady Aliena. My brother, the King, and I accepted the traitor Waleran into our midst. We were fools and sinners, even if we did not know. I pray that our Lord will save Philip from these flames, for his salvation shall be a salvation for all of us sinners.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Light the pyre!
My God, there must be something we can do!
Stop this madness!
Ah, Philip.
It is so good to see you, Jonathan.
Tell me, how are things at St. John in the Forest?
Francis is well.
That is wonderful.
Yes, he enjoys the life there. You look worried, Jonathan.
Well, you have a visitor. He just arrived.
Is that not a good thing, Jonathan? Who is it?
That is just it. I wasn't sure if you wanted to see him.
It has been a long time.
Ah, yes, it has. I had to know.
Know what?
The truth is, I never saw God or the devil. Have you?
Oh Lord, deliver us from evil. Our Father, who art in heaven,
My God,
hallowed be thy
must
name.
be something we can
Thy
do!
kingdom come,
Stop this
thy will be done on earth as it is
Are
in
you
heaven.
blind? Do you not know that a fire will burn any man, no matter who he is?
Why are you doing this?
After Wayland's words, there is doubt in their hearts about my motives, about my brothers. No words can erase that doubt, but God can. Our Lord is a cleansing fire.
He's still alive. It's a miracle. He is among us. God is here.
How is this possible?
It's all a matter of perspective.
We have to stop this!
No, Jack. Come.
My God.
No, but that's what they see. That's what they believe.
The water. It's dousing the flames. It's a trick.
To them, it's a miracle.
The justice of our church. I believe Philip understands that now. His book will be destroyed. If you or your friends ever mention the White Ship again, I promise you will take Prior Philip's place. And God will not be as forgiving.
Their faith in you and your church is restored. I say it was worth sparing that monk's life. Promise me that Wayland will suffer.
Philip?
Yes?
Did you see God? Did he save you that night?
Wayland needed to find him himself, so I did not tell him.
Philip is back.
Philip!
Did you walk all the way? Again?
Just part of it.
Old fool.
Ellen stayed in Kingsbridge. I thought I had lost God, that he did not watch over us. But now I see him every day. He is in the good we do, in how we show our love. Jack's hands had become rough, his hair grey, but his eyes still burned bright like hot coals.
It's good to see you.
Aliena's gaze could be as stern as her father's had been, but her heart and wit made her a leader people did not follow out of fear, but out of respect and loyalty.
Jonathan told us you had a visitor.
Just an old friend.
What do you think of this window?
Jonathan came to look more and more like his father, Tom. As Prior of Kingsbridge, he is also a builder of sorts.
I use mostly warm colours. What good are the large windows if it feels cold?
Sally is as stubborn and as gifted as her parents. It is her stained glass windows the light is falling through. She has children of her own now.
And I'd like to show you the plans for the new cloister.
Tommy will be the next master builder, and is as silent as his grandfather was. Once I heard him admonish his father to be more serious at work. Jack only smiled. He knew Tommy was right. Martha stayed in Kingsbridge as well. She was always there for every one of us.
Is the church done now?
I don't know. Why don't you ask him yourself?
Is the church done now?
It will never be done. Not in my lifetime. Not in yours.
Remember us for what we did, for who we were, and maybe for what we tried to be. And when you turn your eyes to our cathedral, maybe you will see yourself.